Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Roll in the Family, D&D Beyond streaming game featuring a bunch of awesome D&D streamers and their amazing kids all playing a game of D&D together. My name is Brennan Mulligan. I'm your humble dungeon master, presenting our adventure for the next couple of weeks, The Slumbering Forest, a tale of fanciful fairy tale adventure in a world similar to some of the fairy tales we remember, but a little bit different in a lot of very important ways. Let me first turn it over and introduce our amazing cast. I'll go ahead and introduce you guys one by one, and if you can just tell us again your character, that would be great. First, we'll say hi to Kelly Knox. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I play Ren, a half-elf druid.
Wonderful. And Kelly's daughter, Maddie. Hey, Maddie.
Hi, I play Michael, the Grung Wizard, or Frog Wizard.
Awesome. We also have Adam Bradford. Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Hey, doing great. Thanks, Brennan. I am playing Barnaby, a satyr or faun, as he prefers to be called, warlock.
Wonderful. And Adam's son is with us as well. Luke, how you doing, Luke?
I'm doing fine. And I am playing Talisman, a sword sage monk.
Awesome. We also have B. Dave Walters with us. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Oh, no.
You're muted.
I think you're muted, Dave.
Oh, no.
You are.
Oh, zone of silence. Yes. Hello. Hi. B. Dave Walters. I say words about things, and I am playing Hatch, the life cleric turtle that just wants everybody to be cool, man.
Gotta be cool. And we have B. Dave's two wonderful daughters with us. Lexi, how are you doing?
I'm good, and I play Demora, the Tiefling Paladin.
Awesome. And Kaylin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, and I play Trinity, a Wood Elf Angel.
Oh, amazing. Well, that's all of our wonderful heroes. So I want to take a moment before we jump in to say a huge thank you to the charity we are working with for Roll in the Family, which is Direct Relief. Direct Relief is an amazing charity that for years has been bringing resources, supplies, and all kinds of support to frontline relief and disaster workers. And of course, as I'm sure is a surprise to no one, they are on the forefront of helping our first responders and healthcare workers deal with the threat from coronavirus. So we are doing this game in partnership with Direct Relief to make sure that we can raise funds for them. If you like the game we're doing today, please make sure that you go ahead and donate something to Direct Relief as a way of saying thank you for this awesome charity game, and hopefully enjoy some D&D adventure with some awesome families playing together. And I'm sure you guys are at home, and whether your family is all under quarantine in the same house together, or whether you're all doing family hangs over Zoom, D&D is an awesome game to play with the fam. Without further ado, I will now return us to the world of Lyra and give a little recap of our last episode. So, last we left off, we were introduced to our 7 amazing heroes in the Port of Sapphires outside of the Slumbering Forest. You see, the world of Lyra is a classic high fantasy realm, but however, the old kingdom of Caverly was overtaken by a curse of a slumbering forest with lots of magic where things go and tend to fall asleep and never come back out of them. Now, there was a prophecy a long time ago that a prince would one day return to awaken the sleeping king and queen, the prince's parents, and all would be right. Very classic fairy tale. The clock started really running down in that prophecy. With about 7 days left, a lot of people said, maybe we should not rely on this prophecy. Maybe we should kind of take matters into our own hands, and assembled the realm's 7 greatest heroes that you see before you here on this stream to kind of do something about this issue. Now, while they were getting to do something about this issue, 2 big important things happened. Number one, the Master of Storms, Zariah, a very powerful and wise wizard, talked about tablets of the prophecy that had another way to reawaken those put to sleep by the slumbering forest. However, due to some very keen perception by our cleric, the Turtle Hatch, this prophecy may not be all it seems. In fact, the Wizard Zariah believes that maybe it's not even true and is just a little thread of hope for solving this problem. However, the gnomish advisor, Ziceris, produced what he has said to be the Prince Lionel, who, after a careful Zone of Truth spell, appears to believe that he is the prince. However, due to some decidedly unheroic characteristics, our brave heroes have some doubts as to whether this Lionel in his clanking armor and with not too many skills on the battlefield is actually the prince he claims to be. But the adventure still awaits, and the days are counting down to when something needs to be done. So the heroes set off nonetheless, with Prince Lionel in tow, with the wizard Michael stuck in a barrel of water, and a giant boar named Buford pulling the wagon. We ended last week with an incredible battle against a number of monstrous plant guardians at the gates of the forest. And due to some incredible sword work from Kaelin and Demora and Talisman, some awesome spellcasting from Wren, Hatch, and Barnaby, and the killing blow from the frog wizard Michael, and absolutely zero help at all from Prince Lionel, who mainly got attacked by some twigs and fell over and rolled around on the ground. We find ourselves victorious part of the way into the forest. Some of you are injured and still have those injuries. I will set the scene and you guys can begin playing. The plant monsters fritter away. The twig blights rush off into the woods, skittering off into the shadows. And the giant sort of bug-filled, what you now recognize to be a shambling mound, but a much larger than normal shambling mound, has de-animated, and now all those centipedes and ants in the rotten wood are crawling off to other parts of the forest. Puffing some big breath, Hatch pops a couple tasty grubs and centipedes. You guys find yourself once again in quiet, and you begin to hear bird song returning as the presence of these dangerous monsters vanishing can be felt by the wildlife in the woods. I turn it over to you. What do you guys do with your various injuries and such? Yes, Hatch.
Hey, who's hurt?
I'm kind of hurt, but I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little hurt. It's fine though. And then Talisman walks up to Michael the Frog. He's a little shaken after the last incident that just happened, and he says, "Thank you, Michael the Frog."
No problem.
You see that, yeah, coming up next to Talisman as well, Buford says, "My word, there's some very, very clever spellcasting there at the end." And Buford by Talisman looks and says, "You were almost a meal for that monster. I'm very glad that quick spell work came in just in time." Kaelin and Demora, you see Prince Lionel stands up shakily and says, "You two incredible warriors kept that beast at bay. I would surely have been dead thrice over if you had not saved my life. Thank you for your excellent heroics. I can never repay."
At least thrice.
If not, twice? Is that 5?
Twice?
I don't know if that.
I ain't never heard no twice.
Yes, well, at very least thrice. Where have you learned these incredible sword skills from?
I don't know. I guess I developed it.
Over time? Jealously guarding your sword secrets, I see. Well, I shall not press any further if you don't want to share your techniques with me. I'm actually, again, I don't know if you know this, I am the prince from the prophecy, so I actually, I'm not a slouch with a sword either.
I'm not even sure you believe that at this point.
Well, under proper circumstances, you understand, these twigs have no sense of decency or etiquette. Normally, you would bow and exchange pleasantries before a fight.
That ain't the only twig I'm seeing around here.
That's Underdark shadow boxing in the wood elf sword style. Trinity, are you hurt currently that I can tell?
No.
Okay, then I just say, hey, feel better. And I channel healing and give back 5 to Talisman and 5 to Demora.
Awesome. Hatch, you see Lionel says, I'm sorry, if you're passing around healing, I'm actually quite injured as well. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Is he talking about his pride or?
That is a 17.
Lionel is completely uninjured except for some stress injuries from the weight of his armor walking all this way.
Barnaby, I see fey magic. And I just pointed Lionel.
Lionel looks up and says, what? Did one of those twigs ensorcel me? Have I been charmed to fall in love with the first person I see? Ah!
I see just a sack of bones that ain't going to really do us much good. So, what are our next steps here? Because I'm not sure that this is the prince. And even if it is the prince, I don't know if he's going to be able to do what's needed to be done.
I'm happy to fall in love with anyone but the boar. So just make sure the boar is not in front of me.
Barnaby uses Mask of Many Faces to transform into a very beautiful and much thinner than Barnaby elfin maiden. And when he opens his eyes, is going to just kind of position herself suggestively in front of him.
He opens his eyes and goes, "Ah, an elfin maiden! My goodness! Can it be the prophecy is true? Those twigs have ensorcelled me with some sort of charming magic."
You're so strong, Prince.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to roll something.
Very strong.
You see, he looks at you and says, "Oh, it's a disguised Barnaby. No elfin maiden would ever comment on my strength."
Of course no one would. What? And he still looks like the female elf at this point. Of course no one would. What are you thinking?
His voice comes back. You see, Buford goes, "Very jarring, Barnaby." And you see that, Hatch, yes, you want to have something to say.
I actually made one mistake. It was 9 points to Talisman and 6 to Demora.
Gotcha.
At 5, It was 9 and 6.
Gotcha. Anyone that wants to make a perception check for me right now?
I can try.
Oh, well, actually, 13. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as
10.
10.
20.
20.
Ooh!
Natural 20s or dirty 20s?
Dirty 20.
Awesome. As the rest of you are as Hatch is healing people, Trinity, you look out and see that the sun is getting a little bit higher in the sky, and you begin to smell a very sweet smell of flowers coming from further down the track. On a 20 perception check, you know that like the most dangerous times of day in the slumbering forest are noon, midnight, dawn, and dusk. So those are the times where like a lot of magic tends to happen. And right now it's getting a little bit closer to noon. And you guys are kind of like out in the open right now. So it's so you don't have that much time before you need to decide to do something. And Trinity, of course, can share that information with everybody. But also, if you want to get more information before you share with people, you can ask me questions too.
I think I'll just share the information.
Awesome. What does Trinity say to everybody?
Guys, noon's pretty dangerous. I think we need to go somewhere that isn't as open as here.
What do you mean?
Well, since I go and heal a lot, I know noon's pretty dangerous. A lot of magic happens at noon. We're not safe right here.
Well, what do you suggest we do?
I don't know. Why are you
I gotta
asking
admit,
me?
I'm normally asleep at noon, so I'm not much help here.
For anyone that wants to, for anyone that wants to, you can make a survival or a nature check right now as well.
That's a big old one. So Hatch is just like, I'll just chill in my shell and it'll be fine.
17 for Rick.
10.
I got 16.
16. Cool.
21.
21 from Trinity. Man, Trinity is good at this wood stuff. Trinity, as Demora asks you sort of like, what is it that we can do? There are a lot of different places to find shelter. But out here at the edge of the forest, you're not going to have as much luck. But you could find the best places to find shelter would probably be like a cave, some kind of place that had some kind of like shelter from the elements, or you could find a waterway. Like being on a river around noon or being on a lake somewhere tends to be a little bit safer.
Trinity, we should keep moving, right?
Yeah, we should look for a cave or something. Or a lake.
Awesome. Do you guys take off from that point altogether, or does anyone have any business they want to do before they leave? Cool.
As long as everybody looks healed up, ready to roll.
For the most part, everyone looks healed up. You guys begin down the path.
I think we still have Pass Without a Trace up.
Yes, I believe you do as well. So you're very, very stealthy as you're traveling together. As you guys are moving through the woods here, I am going to need I'm going to need one more survival check from everybody. And what I need from the group is, because you're all traveling in a group together, more than half of the group needs to beat a 15. So 4 out of 7 need to beat a 15. If anyone beats a 20, you can do it for one other person.
I got a 24.
Ooh,
I got a 24.
Hey!
21.
Oh my goodness. You guys are completely safe as you travel forward. Incredible.
You too?
Kelly, yeah, like we both rolled ones. Is that what happened?
Oh, you guys. Oh, wait a minute.
16.
Yes.
So two natural ones. Oh no.
No.
What did Talisman get?
I got 26. So
Okay. So we
Yeah.
got 21, 26, 24, 24. And what did Michael get?
16.
16. Great. Okay. So even with 2 nat 1s on this big group check, Barnaby, so what is a nat 1 for Barnaby and Ren looking like? Because like Hatch and Trinity and Demora are and Talisman are all like focused, got to get to some safe places.
I get distracted real easy, and so I'm just kind of walking around the path, and it's a butterfly, and a centipede. I mean, you really don't see those much, and so you see that Barnaby is just kind of walking along and getting very distracted, and the entire group is going forward without him, and then I'm gonna catch up, and then he starts kind of running ahead, but he is definitely slowing the group down in some ways.
I love that. And what is Ren doing that is like as she's marching through the forest?
Ren is really distracted by Buford, who she seems to have noticed for the first time, and she's trying to like give him pets, but without being like too forward. So she's kind of focusing on him right now. And finally, she says, "Can I just pet you just a little?"
Thank you very much for asking. I'm a very dignified creature, but the truth is that I can't scratch behind my own ears. So if you would be kind enough to do that, that would be just wonderful.
Ren stops walking, turns around, and just starts doing the little scritches behind the.
He goes,
behind the.
"Oh, that's wonderful. What a gift to have hands." and you continue along. I will say this, because they're so distracted, I am going to need a Constitution saving throw from Ren and Barnaby both.
Constitution save? Oh no.
13.
14.
Okay, wonderful. You guys are walking along. As you pass under the arbor of this huge series of trees, you see that it goes from these sort of knotted, gnarled trees. The borders of the slumbering forest appear to be these very hard-barked, twisted, knotted trees, almost like the front line of an advancing army. And as you pass out about a quarter of a mile away from the edge of the forest, suddenly you're in an area that is like full of flowering vines twisting into the branches of the trees. The trees themselves have their own blossoms, and you see the wind picks up and a bunch of these blossoms start falling. For Demora and Talisman, Hatch, Michael, and especially Trinity, you see them going, and all of you notice Trinity puts a cloth mask up over her nose and mouth as she's walking, and all of you do as well. Ren and Barnaby are just a little distracted, but you succeed on your Constitution save. You become very drowsy as these magical flower petals.
It's that time of the day, I'm telling you.
It is nap time of the day, but you look out and see like this is like the weird part of the slumbering forest. You see that there is a full stag sleeping on the ground with a wolf like sort of cuddled up like by its side and its head resting on the neck of the stag. There's like a small bird asleep on one of the on like the stag's antlers, and you see that there's like some very light cobwebs on them, like they've been sleeping there for months or years. But you see that they're still breathing. They're like they don't appear to need to have eaten or had anything. It's just like a very fey magic thing going on. Yes, Michael.
Instead of a mask, can Michael just only have his eyes peeking out from the water to protect him from the air?
Yeah, absolutely. You've used the water. So just these two frog eyes peering out very shrewdly from the bucket. Incredible. You guys continue to walk through this incredible orchard of sleeping blossoms. The smell is incredible. It is so sweet, like honeysuckle, but it does have this kind of incense to it, this aroma that's just so pungent that it makes you want to lie down. You guys journey through there. Yeah, Hatch.
I cast Thaumaturgy, and I say, hey, up in Adams. And my voice booms.
But we're being cool.
Yeah.
As you do up and Adam, you see that the little bird wakes up and flies off, and you see that the stag and the wolf both kind of wake up and go, and they both kind of look over at you, thankfully, look at each other kind of awkwardly, and then you see that the stag bounds away and the wolf continues hunting the stag, and you guys like, maybe like, 5 or 10 years ago, they were in the middle of a life or death chase and then just snuggled up for a nap for a bunch of years and kind of like, okay, back at it, and run off into the forest.
The slumbering forest, bringing folks together. I love it. Put aside your differences.
So you guys go, and as it gets closer to true noon, Trinity and Talisman and Hatch, you guys find a big, cool cave full of moss. And you see that it is way out of the way, so no wind will come in, no blossoms will blow in here. And you guys can hunker down here until noon is a little bit later and you've passed it. And this will also allow you to take a short rest if you would like. So any abilities that recharge on a short rest, you can retake. And if anyone still has some injuries left over, you can roll some hit dice if you would like to get some extra hit points back. As you go in here, as you guys go into the cave, do you guys do any exploring in here, or would you rather focus on just resting up?
I want to explore.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me an investigation check, Trinity.
I'd like to look too.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to make your own
Oh.
investigation? Oh yeah, what did Trinity roll?
Oh, I want a natural 20 plus 1, so
Man, having a ranger with the party is good.
Who knew it would work out in a forest like that? It's amazing.
It's amazing.
We-
As you guys are settling down, you see that Lionel goes to sit down on a rock, and as he does, he kind of stumbles over. Trinity, you look over. It's a very damp dirt floor in this cave, even though the walls and ceiling are made of rock. It looks like this rock was deposited a long time ago by like a glacier. There's lichen and moss on everything that's cool and damp. But you look at something and there are some stones that were not left here naturally. And you see they're in a small ring. And even though this cave has flooded at some point, you go and take what looks like a rock at first, but is actually a tiny piece of burnt wood. It looks like something or somebody made a fire in this cave, probably less than a month ago. And on a nat 20, I will let you ask any other questions about the fire you want and give them an answer, because this is like exactly what your character is good at doing. So if is there anything Trinity wants to know more about the fire, or who built it, or where it is in the cave, or how long ago it was? And I'll answer one of your questions about the fire if you want to ask.
Exactly how long ago was it made?
It was made exactly 22 days ago. So 3 weeks and 1 day ago.
Okay.
Which means that, but you would also know from that nat 20 that the creatures of the forest usually can all see in the dark. Like when you and Ren come here, oftentimes you guys won't make a fire. So making a fire is something that like an outsider of the slumbering forest would have done. You can share that information, or you can keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret.
Ooh. So Trinity notices that and looks down. The rest of you get some awesome rest here. Yeah, Hatch.
No, we can roll with it.
Okay, cool. So you guys have a nice short rest. Noon passes, and the smell of the flowers kind of dissipates a little bit, and you guys can continue on your journey. As you continue on, you guys arrive in a new part of the forest. You leave the kind of flowering trees and come to truly titanic trees, where you are right now, it's probably like usually between 25 to 40 feet of tree trunk overhead before the branches start. But once the branches start, these are giants of trees. So when you look up into the branches, you cannot even see sky. Like it is deep dark here. And in fact, I'll ask, are you guys using any light sources in this place? I don't know if there's people here. I think Talisman can't see in the dark. So at least a couple of, and Lionel certainly can. So yes, Michael.
Can Michael climb to the top of one of the trees, or is it way too high so you can see what's like ahead and stuff?
Oh, you can climb up because you're a little tree frog. You can definitely climb up.
Okay. Let's see.
Awesome. So, Michael, you don't even have to roll for it necessarily. You begin to climb up into the trees and hop up. This little robed wizard bouncing up the tree trunk. Go ahead and give me a perception check, if you can.
21.
21. Awesome. So you go all the way up. The trees are so thick in this part of the slumbering forest that it's almost like how creatures live in the ocean, where there's creatures that live near the surface, there's creatures that live in that middle area, and then there's the deep dark at the bottom. Like down here, so you climb up, and it's, you start going through the middle branches, and you begin to see hints of sun, like dappled things coming through, like not even direct sunlight, but reflected sunlight off of the leaves, higher and higher, until eventually you see a little bit of blue, a little wisp of cloud. And you get to the point where you can see the sky now, but you still can't see ahead of you. So you would have to go a little bit higher up to fully see the rest of the forest. Do you go all the way to the top or stay there?
I'll go all the way to the top.
So, Michael, you go all the way to the top. You are hanging on, the limbs of the tree are down beneath you. You are on like a branch that is like less than a quarter wide in diameter, and you're like hanging up there. I'm gonna roll a little luck check now because the slumbering forest is very dangerous. You're up in the tree looking out. On a 21 perception check, you see forest all over. The tops of the trees are beautiful, deep green with hints of like purple and lavender, and some of the trees, little crisp bits of magic where you see blossoms blow off in the wind. And speaking of wind, you see that a gust of wind comes, and I'm going to need an athletics check from Michael as the wind kicks up on this branch.
I got 3.
Oh no! So the wind kicks up. You on this branch as the wind blows the tops of the forest. You release from the branch as you are knocked off, and you begin to fall. Hatch.
I've actually got a pretty good athletics. I'm gonna try and catch Michael when they're coming down.
Incredible.
Barnaby is definitely trying to catch her, and I got you, kid. I got you, kid, and he is not going to succeed.
Michael, though, with a 21 perception check, you see 3 different areas of the forest. For a moment, you see that there's an area where the trees are kind of like autumnal, like golden and yellow and brown in one area. There is another where you see the trees seem to have like wilted or withered, and the only leaves that are left are like a deep purple with veins of red going through them. And then there's another very vibrant, healthy area of the forest with like bright green, almost like yellow green and lime green leaves ahead. Very close to you, though, you see that there is a small little bit of smoke. And that's the last thing you saw, was very nearby. There's like a little source of smoke coming up before you were, I'm going to need we'll call this a DC 15 athletics check from Hatch.
Dirty 20.
Yes, so Michael, you are blown off of the thing.
I got you, kid.
And whoom, you fall into Hatch's arms. Michael, you are safe.
Talisman breathes a sigh of relief.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey,
Did you
you're
see
welcome.
it there?
Michael tells everyone about the smoke in the areas. So there's smoke up ahead. Oh, also, what area are we in or going towards? Can I know that?
Yes, if you were to keep going straight, you would head to that very healthy lime green area. The sort of dark purple red trees are to the south, which is to your left, and the more like autumn bright red and yellow fiery leaves are to the north, which is to your right. Yeah, Hatch.
Were we given any idea of where we were supposed to go in here? Like, I know we're looking for ruins that are in this forest, but I mean, were we given north, south, east, west?
Yes, the Dread Castle of Dinamore is due west. So going straight is what you were supposed to do.
Is that towards the direction where she saw the dead trees?
No, that's in the direction of the vibrant sort of living trees.
Yeah, I just tell everyone everything.
Awesome. Yes, Ren.
For Trinity and I, would this be news to us? How far have we actually made it into the forest before?
You've made it very far into the forest before, but the areas that Michael saw, actually, you know what? Give me a nature check, Trinity and Ren.
And where would we say that Barnaby lives? Like,
Actually, Barnaby should give me one of these as well.
Okay.
18
Did you
for
say
Ren.
nature?
Yeah, nature. 18?
I got a 16.
16, awesome.
15.
15. So all of you guys would know this. The safest areas of the forest are kind of the neutral zones of the forest. Like when you guys come here and explore, the best places to be are places where the forest is a little bit more natural or normal. These areas you saw are what you, like Ren, you would actually know this as a druid. They're called nodes, Nodes. And basically that's where areas of highly concentrated magic live. So going into an area where magic has changed the biology of the forest, where the trees are different and stuff like that, usually means you're going to encounter a powerful fey creature or some kind of enclave of forest beings. So like for you two exploring, Trinity, you have a question.
In which area was the smoke?
The smoke is very nearby. It's in part of the neutral area of the forest. So, Michael, according to what you saw, it's only about like another 15 or 20 minutes away going through the woods.
Can I suggest we try heading towards it?
Yeah, Michael suggests that you guys head towards it.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. So let's find it.
Were you saying something, Trinity?
Yeah. Trinity like made a look of thinking because she was wondering if that was where the person who made the fire in the cave was.
Ooh.
I was gonna say that too.
A very solid clue. So you guys venture through the forest and arrive at a small clearing. You see one of the first structures you've seen in a long time, which is a stone well made of rounded, unworked stone covered in moss with a little moss-covered wooden sort of steeple over it. And you see that there is a large stone that almost has a naturally occurring seat in it. From the area right in front of this sort of seat and stone, the earth stops being covered in like roots and foliage and is actually just hard-packed, dusty earth. This is sort of the trailhead of 3 different trails heading through the woods. These trails are not even close to being roads. Like the trails at the widest are like 2 or 3 feet wide of like sort of packed earth. And sometimes they just become like little dots of packed earth with like ferns or flowers growing up around them. And you see that in the middle of this area is a small wooden fire that is burning. And you see seated in the in like the stone chair, there is an ancient knight. It is a Firbolg knight. For those that don't know what a Firbolg is, they are kind of like related to giants and have almost like cow-like bovine faces. This knight is wearing emerald, almost like mossy armor. It's made of metal, but it almost looks like there's like algae growing in the gray steel to kind of give it a green sheen, or like how copper like rusts and becomes green. And there's images of trees and vines all through it. See that the knight has this like old ancient spear covered in vines. He's got sort of like graying fur on his sort of cow-like face, but there's still some like light brown to it. And he's got like long hair tied back in like dreadlocks that go white with age around them, and a very like gaunt, sleepy face. There's almost like a Don Quixote vibe to this old Fearbold paladin, covered in cobwebs. And you see he is fast asleep, and there is a bag of there's like a feed bag tied around his head, but you see there are flower petals spilling out of it. These are slumber blossoms. These are like sleeping flowers. As he's
Barnaby is going to just advance into the clearing, and you see him just kind of wiggle his finger, and a hand that looks just like his but ghostly emerges, and then he just pushes it forward, and he is going to try to grab the bag that's wrapped around the head and pull it off with mage hand.
You see the bag pops off. As it pops off, you see that the old knight kind of
Hey, it's okay. We're friends, I assure you.
Oh, intruders in the slumbering forest.
No, I live here. What are you talking about?
See, the knight kind of stands up, goes,
Oh, Barnaby of the slumbering forest.
It's me. What's your name again? I can't remember.
You would recognize this as Sir Alamanth. Sir Alamanth is the guardian of pathways. He is technically mortal because he's a furbolg, but he's one of those mortals that was like raised in a fairy court and therefore has a lot of like fey magic. You would know that he is an Oath of the Ancients paladin. You see he sort of wobbles up to his feet and goes,
I've been asleep for some time, I think. Who are all of you who have come here? I am Sir Alamanth, guardian of pathways, and all paths are mine to guard. Oh.
Well, you already know me. I'm Barnaby. It's been a while, but I'm the one technically that kind of saved you from this eternal slumber. So, yeah, that's me, and these are my friends, and we're trying to kind of make sure that the prophecy happens. So maybe introduce yourselves.
You see that Sir Alamanth looks over at Trinity and says,
You there, ranger of the elven folk, state your name and purpose in the slumbering forest.
I'm Trinity, and I don't know. I'm here with other people to do something about a prophecy, I think.
Well, every one of you must answer a riddle to advance further into the forest.
I love riddles.
Trinity, your riddle is this. Where am I?
You're in the Slumbering Forest.
You have passed the riddle. You see...
not much of a riddle.
What's that, Barnaby?
Nothing, Alamanth, sir. We're all good here.
Very well. You there, sword-wielding human mortal, what is... state your name and purpose here.
I am Talisman, and I've come with the others to fulfill the prophecy.
I see. Well, you will not fulfill the prophecy unless you can answer this riddle. I spy with my little eye something with leaves on it. What am I?
A tree?
You have passed the riddle of the slumbering forest.
Man, this guy needs new material.
Smart. Wow, man.
I just woke up. You there? Oh, champion of the underworld. Tiefling paladin. state your name and purpose in the slumbering forest.
I am Demora, and I've come with everyone else to fulfill the prophecy.
Very well. Your riddle is this. Sorry, sleepy. What be the name of this one? And he points over at Trinity.
That is Trinity.
Wise indeed are the travelers here. You have answered 3 riddles, but 4 more yet must be answered. You, the frog.
He pops up out of the water and goes, I'm Michael.
State your name and purpose.
I am Michael. I came to fulfill the prophecy with my friends.
Very well. Your riddle is this. What's my name? I said it a bunch. This is, in addition to endangering your party, this is also very rude.
I completely forgot.
Hatch very much yawns dramatically like, man.
What he said.
It finally got hard.
I was yawning.
You see that Alamath looks at you and says, answer me truthfully. Are you saying that because you remembered or because the turtle yawned and it sounded like my name?
Obviously, because I remembered.
You have passed the riddle.
Sorry, it's got some of that dust.
You see, he says, you, druid of the stars, state your name and purpose.
I'm Ren, and we're here to save the kingdom.
Very well. Your riddle is this. Which member of your party is a druid? It's you. You have passed. And finally, Turtle says, state your name and purpose.
I'm Hatch. I'm here to help.
Very well, Hatch. Your riddle is this, Hatch. What was the purpose of the person immediately previous to you?
To help.
You have passed as well. You may all go. Wait. And you see he points at Lionel and says,
state your name and purpose. I am Prince Lionel, and I am here to fulfill the prophecy.
Oh, here we go.
And Alamath goes, very well. Here is your riddle. The beginning of eternity, the end of time and space, the beginning of every end, and the end of every place. What am I? And let me tell you, if you get it wrong, I will immediately start fighting you, and you will die.
Barnaby starts backing up on his little hooves.
You see that Alamath kind of like stretches, old man stretches, and then just the halberd moves around him in a blast of green sparks, and he summons like radiant forest energy into himself.
Can he phone a friend?
You see that he says, no, that would be cheating. Lionel, you have 30 seconds to answer.
I guess he's gonna die.
Just to be clear, I mean, we're kind of with this guy, but we're not like really with this guy. We don't even think he's supposed to be here. So
Michael sinks in disbelief that he's actually going to pull it off.
You see Lionel looks at you. Lionel is in no way going to pull this off. Does anyone have a plan to try to communicate? Turtle, give me a deception. So Turtle, I'm gonna need a deception check to remain hidden from Alamath, and I'm going to need a charisma check to communicate it successfully to Lionel.
Deception is not a strength. 16.
16. I will tell you right now, 16 beats the passive insight of Alamanth. You have successfully, now I'm going to need a flat charisma check to try to communicate it to Lionel.
I am very orange. That is a 21.
Incredible. So what does Hatch do with his hand in front of Lionel? Little you see that Lionel looks over and whispers to you, Hatch, and says, hand? The answer is hand? A hand? Oh, 3 fingers? Is that the letter E? E? The letter E. Alamanth says, yes, you have answered the riddle correctly.
That was a close one.
You see that Alamanth says, you have all answered these riddles, save for Buford and Barnaby, who are denizens of the slumbering forest. You have come here to fulfill the prophecy, but I warn you, the wrath of the Queen of Dusk yet remains here, and she does not wish for the prophecy to be fulfilled. She will attempt to stop you. Do you plan to bring war to her directly? You see, Alamanth speaks up and says, well, these 3 paths lead from here to the courts of the 3 fairy queens who were invited to the naming day of the young prince. You see that he looks over at you and says, to the due west of here, there is the Queen of Dawn and her court. And then to the northwest, you will find the court of the Queen of Midday. To the southwest, the Queen of Midnight. I can answer questions for you about what awaits you on these 3 paths, but if you wish to avoid these queens entirely, you are welcome to try and do so. Yes, Michael.
Because Michael saw all the different forests, does that mean each path leads into one of the different forests? And does he know which path goes to which?
You do know that. So Michael would know this, that the sort of purple and red forest is the Court of Midnight. The bright green forest is the Court of Dawn. And then the sort of red, yellow, brown, autumn one is the Court of Midday.
Can you tell that to them so they can decide together?
Yeah, Michael, you can communicate that to everybody. Yeah. Hatch.
But as far as we know, our destination is at the Court of Dawn.
That is correct. And your destination is actually past the Court of Dawn, which is the dread castle of Dinamore. However, I'll say anyone who wants to can make an insight check here.
So, Brennan, my patron is the Queen of Midnight.
The queen? If your patron can be any of the queens you want it to be.
Queen of Midnight is the patron here, and awesome. So I would know at least a little bit about that realm, I imagine. And so I'm just going to let everybody know. Listen, the Queen of Midnight, she's a little temperamental. Maybe we don't want to go there. Dawn is where I think we should be heading.
Wonderful. Talisman, did you have a question or something?
I was saying that I rolled insight and got a 26.
Cool. That's a high insight check. You can tell that Alamanth knows a lot about these 3 areas of the forest. I will also say on a 26 insight check, you know that you have that information from Hatch that your guys' quest in the forest is predicated on this idea that these tablets are waiting for you in the dread castle of Dinamore. Now, they might be, but there's no proof that they are. You also, on a 26 insight, know that the reason Barnaby is saying to avoid the Court of Midnight is because Barnaby has a relationship with the Queen of Midnight. So you can kind of glean that from what Barnaby is saying. There's also this thing that you heard Hatch speaking about to Barnaby, which is that Lionel has some Fey magic on him. So I'm going to kind of condense all this information for you on a 26 insight, which is this. Going straight to the castle of Dinamore will get you there faster, but it's possible that there will be a lot of mystery left by the time you get there. What is this magic that Lionel has on him? What's the deal with Barnaby and the Queen of Midnight? And more to the point, like, what is it? Like, if the tablet isn't waiting for you there, what will you do when you arrive at the Dread Castle? Michael has a question. I'll let Talisman sit with what you want to do with that information for a second while I talk to Michael.
I just gotta be right back. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Go for it. So what's Talisman thinking with all that kind of? Talisman's like a quiet loner kind of adventurer, which means that you often are that observant person who starts to put things together, and you're starting to put together all this kind of unresolved mystery around here. What's kind of going through Talisman's mind right
now? I walk up to the prince. And I ask him, who told you you are who you
are? He looks right at you, and you can tell he's a little intimidated by you and doesn't want to, like, he goes, the advisor to Prince Aemon, Ziceris. Ziceris explained to me, he showed me my papers of pedigree, and you know, I grew up, you know, knowing that my name was Lionel, but of course I just assumed that my parents named me that as a coincidence. But you know, he explained, and I had a whole weeping conversation with my adoptive parents, where they explained that I had shown up on their doorstep as a babe, blessed with great potential and one of the mightiest heroes of prophecy. Is there anything wrong?
No, not at all.
I will say this too. I'm going to ask for a survival check from Trinity with advantage, if you'd be so kind. So roll twice, take the higher roll.
In total, that's 21.
Trinity, you look at the fire here in the clearing. You think this fire was made in the exact same style as the fire in the cave, which makes you think that Alamanth was not the one who built this fire. Awesome. I'll leave you guys with that information. Demora, can you go ahead and make a religion check for me, by the way? And you can make this with advantage as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Demora, you're looking up at Alamanth as you make this check too.
19.
Demora, you're looking at Alamanth. You can see that Alamanth clearly draws his paladin abilities from the Feywild and from these fairy courts. But you also notice that Alamanth is looking over at you, and you see he nods to you with a lot of respect as he sees a fellow paladin. So you get a sense from him that even though you're a champion of the underworld, that he has a lot of respect for you. And if like anyone here was going to try to like talk to him or like get information out of him, you would have an easier time doing that than a lot of people.
Okay.
Awesome. So yeah, Alamanth says, "You have passed my riddles and may journey from this place. I give you only the warning to never stray from these pathways, as once you have strayed, it is possible that you will never find your way again." Trinity, yeah.
Can I whisper to Demora and ask her to ask him if he made that file?
Ooh, very cool. Yes, you absolutely can. So, Demora, you see Trinity whispers this secret information in your ear. Sorry, one sec.
Bless you.
The flowers, man. It's
Gesundheit.
like it gets in your nose.
Slumbering forest. So, Demora, Trinity gives you the secret information. Do you want to approach Alamanth about that?
I will, because I also have another question.
Awesome. Very cool. Demora, you approach Alamanth, and you see that Alamanth nods to you and says, "Champion of the underworld and fellow knight, it is good to see you here in the slumbering forest. May I help you with something?"
Well, I would just like to know if you made that other fire not too far away from here.
You see that he furrows his brows, scratches his kind of cow face, and you see he goes, "I am not aware that there was a fire farther from here. My dominion is solely the pathways of the forest, and I can only appear upon them lest I break my oath. Yet, if there is another fire farther from here towards the forest's edge, I would not be surprised. Roughly, you see that he sort of kisses his fingers and touches the air, and he senses, I have been asleep for roughly 3 weeks. About 3 weeks ago, a traveler came to this place in a dark cloak. It was a mortal man, though I could not see his face under the shadow of his cloak. He spoke with honeyed words and offered to make a fire for me, for I do not, as part of my oath, I cannot make a fire within the woods, but my joints are old, and I thought it would be nice to warm them. So he made a fire, warmed me, and then he offered me a feed bag full of tasty oats. And I never get tasty oats out here in this part of the forest. And I ate the oats, and about a bite or two into the oats, the oats had a strange flavor, and, well, that's the last thing I remember. And then the stranger never answered my riddle, and he was gone. Michael, you have a question.
I was gonna say something, but it's fine now.
Oh, okay. So Demora, you had another question as well. So you see, he says, if you see a dark cloaked traveler in the woods making fires, don't eat out of his feed bag if he offers it to you. That's my advice to you, Demora. No matter how, and listen, I know as well as you do that raw oats are the tastiest thing out there. So no matter how much you want to eat oats, don't eat the oats.
This guy.
So, I was wondering before we leave which way you would go if you were going where we are.
Ooh, that's a great question. That's so fairy tale. I love that. You see, he looks to you and he says, where I would go if I were you. I'm going to ask Demora to make a persuasion check with advantage right now. So go ahead and roll twice and take the higher of the two rolls. Let me know what you get.
21.
Ooh, 21. That's a high roll. You see, he smiles and says, I will tell you this, Demora, as a newcomer to the slumbering forest. If I were you
and I had questions related to the arcane and the secrets of the shadows, I would surely travel to the realm of the Queen of Midnight to the south. If I wished to visit the midday market, where strange fey creatures from all across the Feywild come to exchange trinkets, goods, and wares, I would surely travel to the north. And if I wished to prove my mettle in great tournaments of strength and melee, I would surely travel to the west to see the court of Dawn. But if I wished to know the true secrets of the Queen of Dusk and the curse she placed on this forest, I would certainly speak to all three of her sisters. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you for your advice.
It is an honor to speak with such a noble knight, which I so rarely have the pleasure to see. And you see that this ancient knight bows his head to you, Tamora. We had a question, I think, from some people too, right? Was it when Michael or Talisman had a question? No, cool. So Alamanth, you see, sort of settles back down into his chair and smiles, and you guys have a big decision to make. Hatch.
I do sort of kind of nudge Barnaby, and I'm like,
Yeah.
We gotta go there, man.
Listen, she might not be real happy with me right now. I kind of, left without saying goodbye, and I'm sure it'll be okay. We'll be fine.
I just put one of my big clawed hands on his shoulder, and I just say, go first or go last.
I'm fine with getting this over with. You know what I'm saying? And hey, while you're there, I got a little bit of I don't know, like a slip disc or something. Can
yeah, you keep
right in there.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
a little harder. Okay, all right. Thanks, Hatch.
And then I vote the Midnight Court first, and then I just sit down.
So let me tell everyone a little bit about the Court of Midnight, the Queen. You'll meet her, but it's kind of like we are all about the trickery and kind of, my magics are to trick other people, illusions, that sort of thing. So if we're trying to get to the bottom of what's going on with this Joker over here, that's supposed to be the prince, it might not be a bad thing to check in with the Queen of Midnight to see. She should be able to tell if he's for real or not.
Bren agrees.
I agree.
You see that Alamanth sort of nods as well. Or actually, sorry, not Alamanth. Yeah, Buford looks up and says, yes, well, if there are any questions of strange magics, and you see his eyes kind of dart over to Lionel, he says, the Queen of Midnight is most versed in magic of any of her sisters.
I just hope her memory ain't too long. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, Barnaby, you may just have to take your lumps on this one, because you've been getting spells from her for a long time and have not been the most diligent servant, if I'm being honest.
Listen, like I said, I sleep a lot,
I can heal lumps.
Yeah, you did wonders on my shoulder.
Michael.
Are we talking about only going to the Midnight Forest or going all three in the Midnight Forest?
We should definitely do all three.
Okay. That's
this old cow knight, he really knows what he's saying.
Yes, I am very wise, and if you wish to repay my wisdom in any oats or barley or any kind of grain, really, I wouldn't say no. So
I just held up a handful of the grubs and things I've collected. I'm like, eat up, man.
As he starts to do that, though, Barnaby wants to kind of just wiggle his fingers and cast minor illusion and make them look like oats.
You see that? It goes, my goodness, fresh oats. Eats them and goes, these oats have a strange texture and they move around a lot more than normal oats.
You ain't ever heard of the bouncing oats?
Bouncing oats, my
yeah,
goodness.
they're from the other side of the forest.
I can't believe my ears. What incredible travelers. I shall remember this. As a knight of the slumbering forest, I am in your debt for having given me the honor of eating these bouncing oats.
So how much are we talking about here?
Well, you want money? I'm talking
I-
about a boon.
Oh, yeah, we can take that too.
I can give you cash if you prefer.
No, I mean, I'll take a check or a money order or perhaps a boon or some type of blessing, you know?
Hatch.
I take the feed bag with the slumbering lilies and just like roll it up. That might be useful later.
Yeah, Dave, not missing a beat here. So
Pro.
I love it. You grab the feedback with the sleeping lilies in it. Yeah, Alamanth has no desire to have that stay around and get him into trouble. I forget, did Michael have a question or no?
I was gonna do a minor illusion, but can I look around, or did we already do that?
Yeah, you can look around a little bit more if you want. Are you looking for anything in particular? Awesome. Oh yeah, Trinity.
I want to go get more of the bugs and whisper to somebody to do minor illusion. More of them.
Hey, listen, kid, as long as you want to do this, we'll keep doing it, all right? And
Yeah.
so Barnaby's just going to keep casting
Great.
minor
Trinity
illusion.
grabs a bunch of bugs. You're just feeding. See, Alamanth is like, honestly, I feel like I don't get many chances to eat such delicious oats, but I'm getting kind of full. Michael.
I'm sorry, my thing froze. I couldn't hear what you said when I asked about looking around.
Oh, you can, no worries. You can absolutely look around if you would like to. So are you looking for anything in particular?
No, just kind of in general, because Hatch had the sleepy flowers, so if there's something like that around.
Gotcha. I'll tell you, without even having to roll, there's a fire, there's the well, and there's Alamanth. Those are really the only three things here. Cool.
Barnaby goes to the well. Is there, I mean, does it look like it's functioning?
Yeah. Did Ren have that same question?
Yes.
Cool. You guys both go over and examine the well. You can both give me a nature check if you'd like.
Can they
I'm
refill
going to
my
abstain to
water
the
tub?
druid.
Sorry, what's that? What's that, Michael?
Can they refill my water tub? It needs cleaner water.
Let's look inside first.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I got an 8. It's not a great roll.
You see some deep water in there. If you guys want to take some buckets of water and replace the water in Michael's barrel is getting a little bit lower, and also like, Michael's been hanging out in there a lot, so it's not the cleanest.
Stewing in his juices, so to speak.
Yeah, you get some fresh water there. I'll say you guys can do that for free. You guys replace some water. Trinity, yeah.
Can I go take a look at the well and see if I see anything in there?
Yes, go ahead and give me a nature check.
I got a 15.
15 is a little bit higher than a 9. You think this water might be a little bit enchanted. This well seems like it seems like a wishing well or some kind of like magical well.
So,
Is my water okay?
Is it? Oh, yeah,
I don't think we should drink this water or use it. I think it's enchanted.
Francis,
Michael hops
thanks. I couldn't see that well.
So yeah, Ren, on second look, you do see that. What does Michael say?
Michael just backs up from the barrel.
Awesome. Demora.
I have a question to I was wondering like if the water is actually enchanted.
Well, this is right now a gut feeling that Trinity has. Trinity's been right about almost everything in the forest. So, but if you wanted to use some resources, take a closer look, like you could cast detect magic on it, you could cast some other stuff, but you'd have to like spend spell slots to do that.
Well, I was wondering if the knight knew anything about the water.
Oh, if you want to, yeah, you can ask Alamanth. You see that Alamanth speaks up and says, "Yes, this water is extremely cool and clean. It provides a clarity of vision to those who drink it, and many have made their wishes here in the well before departing on the path that they would take." Yeah, Hatch.
When he says it's cool, Hatch literally is just like, cool. He just hammers some
You
of it.
take a big slurp of
Yes.
this water. Awesome. Trinity, did you have anything that you were going to do or no?
I would like back away from the water, still thinking it's
It's
enchanted.
enchanted. Cool. Yes, Michael.
Can Michael ask if he's safe to sit in it?
You see that Alamanth says, "You know, I can't say that I'm certain. It's pretty potent just taking a sip. If you were to sit in it all day, I don't know what would happen, but you're welcome to give it a try."
Yes, Trinity.
Trinity's gonna be like, I don't think we can trust that well. I mean, we're in an enchanted forest. Pretty much everything's gonna be enchanted.
The kid's got a point.
Meanwhile, Hatch is full Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Incredible. Well, I'm going to say that you guys, I think, are about ready to head out from here. The one person who drank, I'll just ask Michael one last time if you want to get fresh water from the well or not.
No, not anymore. He can sit in Michael juice.
Ooh, gross. Hatch, I'm going to need a Constitution and a Wisdom saving throw from you.
Good call, Michael.
Con is 16.
Okay, good.
Wisdom is 14.
14. Okay. So, here's the deal, Hatch. You are going to have disadvantage on all perception checks. All you are hearing is voices of all of the wishes other people have made in the well. So you hear tons and tons of voices. The one you hear most prominently and first is a voice kind of clouded by whispers. Go ahead and again make a perception check, but do make it with disadvantage for me.
Nope, curses, because that was pretty good. Oh, excellent. That's all right. Dirty 20.
With disadvantage?
Rolled a 15 and an 18.
Heck yeah. So Hatch, who is like a sort of mystic himself, you're kind of okay not being fully present in this world. And, you hear all these voices of wishes that have been made in the well. The first one you hear that comes back a bunch of times is a sort of resonant voice saying, I wish to find my parents. And that's the first voice you hear. You guys head south from here.
I will say, while this is happening, I grab my buddy Talisman and I just kind of try and recount to him what I'm hearing. And I'm like, somebody's looking for their parents, and like another dude wants to be taller. I think Barnaby wanted longer horns, and just. But I'm specifically trying to tell him because I realize that when I come out of this state, I may not remember myself.
Awesome. I love that. You guys all head deeper into the forest. You guys travel on the path. I am going to ask, as you guys are traveling on the path, do all of you guys make sure to remain on the path or not? Cool. We get thumbs up from everybody.
Okay, yes. Yes, we do.
Yes, you do. Is anybody watching anyone else to make sure that they stay on the path?
Yeah, we need a buddy system.
Great. Who's
Michael gets on Trinity.
who's Michael watching?
Trinity.
Trinity. Who's Talisman watching?
Barnaby.
Who's Barnaby watching?
Talisman, probably.
Who's Ren watching?
Lionel.
Who's Trinity watching?
Demora.
Who's Demora watching?
Trinity.
Beautiful. So no one's watching Hatch,
No.
and Hatch has so Hatch, I'm gonna need a perception roll again with disadvantage. Oh, sorry, you're muted.
Not terrible. 16.
16 is not bad. Okay, great. So you guys are most worried about Lionel, which is probably the right move. But Hatch, amazingly, who's like kind of not even present, manages to stay on the path, which is pretty incredible. But like kind of like I think there's a bunch of scary like zigzags where Hatch is like maybe gonna like walk off somewhere.
I mean, that one's touched, I tell you.
You guys walk. And you can't be sure if it's because you're taking the whole day to travel or if you're just walking into a part of the forest where it is always night. But the sun sets and it gets dark. Do you guys have any sources of light lit? Trinity?
Well, I want to tell the rest of the group, oh no, we gotta find shelter. I think this is another dangerous time.
Trinity is absolutely right to remember that.
I got just a place. And Barnaby's going to try to take them to his home.
Incredible. You go deeper in. I'm going to need, let me get a survival check from Barnaby here to get them back to his home.
He wouldn't happen to have advantage since it's his house, would he?
Yes, I will grant advantage because it's your house.
Because he's going to need it.
Well, he's looking. I'm talking to Talisman, and I'm like, wow, so many wishes. I hope they came true.
That is a nice thought. I hope so too.
Okay, so Barnaby is. I thought I put a mark on that tree. I don't know where the keys are to the front door. So he gets a 15 to try to find his home.
15 is great. You find your home. I'm going to need perception checks from everybody.
$15 for Barnaby.
20.
22.
20.
25. A dirty 25.
Wow, incredible. So who beat 20s here? Who got 20s or higher? Demora and Trinity and Michael. Great. So you guys are approaching. What does Barnaby's sweet little home in these midnight forests look like?
He has a little kind of underground hovel, but the way that you get there is through the trunk of a tree. So you're going to see this pretty large tree that has just red and purplish leaves on it because, again, it's part of this midnight area of the forest. And so you see that he goes up to the tree and he just places his hand on the tree, and you see a faint kind of purplish glow around his hand, and then and the tree starts to open a door, and then you see some stairs winding down. He says, all right, this way, we'll be safe here. And you walk down into just a very, very tiny hovel that is way messier than it should be. And it looks like it has not been used in possibly years. There's dust and all sorts of things everywhere. There's kind of rotten food, laid out everywhere. He lives a little bit like a pig, and he actually did live with a pig in Buford for a little while, so it's not the cleanest of places.
Incredible. So yeah, Buford is like, ooh, it's quite messy in here. Yeah, Trinity.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does it ever become a different time of day in this place, or is it always just evening?
I'm gonna say with that perception check, it is a very dangerous time in the forest right now. It is becoming dusk, and dusk is the most dangerous time in the slumbering forest. But what Trinity would know is that in this court, which is the Midnight Queen's court, it is always midnight. So, in other words, you don't have to worry about it being dusk here, but it is always midnight here, which means it's always dangerous here. So I think Trinity's on high alert right now. How big is like Barnaby's little hovel, by the way, would you say?
I mean, when we all get in there, if there is any kind of resting going on, we're probably going to be almost touching. It's very, very small in here.
Incredible.
Listen, apologies for the smell. I ain't been here in a while.
I don't
Sing
smell.
something.
I don't smell anything. Oh wait, I smell it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Buford, or it could be the chicken wings that I left out like 5 years ago.
So you
blame it on Buford.
If you've gone nose deaf, I can heal it.
Demora.
So since it's such a cramped room, I just like bring my sword down and kind of hold it in front of me so I don't like cut anyone's head off.
Awesome. I love that. Just be very careful. So I'm going to describe what happens next. You guys get into the hovel. It's a mess. It's dirty. It's dusty. It's gross down here. You guys have sort of snuffed your lights out from traveling in the woods. When you were traveling in the woods, by the way, even the candles flickered down to just a tiny piece of blue hovering over the top of the wick. These woods want to be dark. You get in here, it is pitch black in here. Barnaby, do you have like a fireplace or something like that?
Do I ever? And then he goes over there, and you see him just kind of like snap his fingers a few times, near the fireplace, and you see there's no wood, but it's still just kind of a little flame.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Adam.
Okay.
You snap your fingers, and no fire appears.
Oh no! It always worked before.
Maybe you're just tired.
Trinity, you immediately can tell. So Demora, your divine sense as a paladin goes off. Something unnatural is happening here. Michael, you can sense the presence of something arcane. And Trinity, you feel the temperature of the room drop to freezing. It is suddenly like ice cold in this room. The three of you know something is going on. None of you will be surprised. Everyone else is surprised. Roll initiative.
Am I still at disadvantage?
For perception, yes. But initiative, you're okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go through person by person here. So the first thing we're gonna do is I'll ask, what is Barnaby's initiative?
15.
15. What is Michael's initiative?
7.
Hold on. Great. So that's 7 for Michael. What is Ren's?
9.
9. What is Hatch's?
15 as well.
What's Trinity?
Well, I rolled a natural 20.
Incredible.
Loaded dice. I love it.
I love it. So that's a nat
fire.
So that's a nat 20. So that's something like a 25, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Incredible. What's Demora's?
Natural 20.
Oh my God.
Get them, girls. Wreck them.
Incredible. And what's Talisman?
Believe it or not, natural 20, 24.
Wait, what is, so yours is what? It's 25 as well?
20, 24. Yeah.
24. And then what's Demora's bonus to dexterity?
Is hold on.
Unbelievable.
dexterity. Hold on, sorry.
No worries.
Her
0.
dex. Yeah, 0 for her.
So it's just 0. So it's just flat 20. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Awesome. We are going to begin. So Barnaby is there striking. You guys are all in this sort of hovel in the Midnight Queen's court in the dark forest. Again, it's like the dry leaves skittering in the wind outside. You hear the wind start to blow fiercely outside. That mournful whistling cry. You see in the darkness of the room, Trinity, in your elven dark vision, you see Barnaby trying to strike his magic to make the fire go. Barnaby's own shadow that you can only perceive with your elven dark vision turns and reaches out from the wall for Barnaby's chest to grab him. You are the first to act. All of the shadows in the room begin moving, and you act first. If with your perception, you think there's somewhere between 6 and a dozen moving shadows here in the room. What would you like to do as the first person to act?
Yep, you, Trinity.
Trinity, that's you. Yeah, no worries.
Well, I wanna wait. Is there a way that I can attack them, or since they're shadows, I can't? Or
you can absolutely attack them. It might be. It seems like magic will probably hurt these things more, but you can absolutely still attack them.
I don't know if I have any spells.
That's okay. Your swords will still hurt them.
Okay, I'll hit them with my swords.
Awesome, go for it. So you are a Gloomstalker. Fighting in the dark is what you were made to do. I'll tell you right now, where you see the most of these creatures is I'm going to say that Talisman, Trinity, and Demora are all near the door. You were waiting to get a bead on the room. You see, here's what you see happening. Near the fireplace, 3 of these shadow beings are coming for Barnaby. Another 3 are coming for Wren in a corner, and another 3 are coming for Hatch in another corner. They seem to really want to go after the spellcaster people. One is rising out of the floor, coming right for Michael. Which do you want to attack first? There's some shadows around Wren, some around Hatch, some around Barnaby, and one coming for Michael.
Oh, this is hard.
Hard decisions.
I think I'll attack the ones coming for Hatch.
Okay, awesome. You rush over to Hatch's side. Go ahead and make your first attack.
18.
18 is a hit. And you're going to roll an extra D8 on this attack. Remember, so it's 1D6 and 1D8.
So one of these?
That is a D12. So what you're going to want is, the one that your dad's holding up.
Oh, I can't see him.
Oops, sorry. It's the one that has triangles all over.
Oh, this one?
That's yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, this one?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So I got a 9.
Okay, so you rolled a 6 and a 9. Did you add 4 to that?
Oh, wait, a 6 and a 9?
Oh, sorry. You rolled a 9 on which die?
This one.
Ooh, that might be too big then, because I don't think you can roll. Oh, that's a 6.
Oh,
Okay.
6.
Roll 6. And then also roll your 6-sided die, which is the cube die, too.
5.
11. So that's 11, and then plus another 4 is 15. Ooh, incredible. You do 15 points of damage. These things are, you can tell that these things have a resistance to weapons from the physical world. Even with that, you channel like elven battle rage and just whip this sword through and really hurt this shadow. You have 2 more attacks this turn, so go ahead and roll two more attacks.
Wait, so how many shadows are going after Hatch?
3 shadows. You've badly hurt the first one.
So I want to attack the second one, so it's also hold.
Okay, awesome. Go for it.
I'm still just like, hey, what's going on?
I know, it's so funny.
I got a 15.
15 hits. Go ahead and roll 1d6 and add 4.
10.
Ooh, you are hit. That one is hurt too. And you have one last attack. Awesome.
18.
18 hits. Go ahead, roll 1d6 plus 4. And you have to attack one of the 2 you've hurt. So you can attack the first one or the second.
Okay, I'll wait, which one is more hurt?
The first one you hit is more hurt.
I'll hit the second one.
Awesome. Go for it.
10.
10 damage. Awesome. Hatch, you don't even know what's going on. It just gets really cold in here all of a sudden, and Trinity is right next to you, slashing wildly into the darkness. And you can hear this sort of sucking noise of air of just as something recoils from Trinity's blades, a booming voice in this shrill, haunting, but also somehow beautiful and resplendent tone goes, Barnaby, you have been rather indolent and lazy. You have borrowed deeply from the well of magic. What is given can be taken back. That is Trinity's turn. Awesome turn, Trinity. Talisman, that's you. And you hear that voice after Trinity leaps into action.
I see the one going for Michael the Frog, and I try to take it out.
Awesome. Go. You rush into the middle of the room. Mike, it is. This one is actually Michael's shadow, which like is rising up out of the floor to wrap its arms around Michael. Go ahead and make your attacks.
$13.
13 hits.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
Awesome. Ooh, I think you might be, are you muted right now or no?
Not anymore. I got 8 damage.
8 damage. Awesome. First attack, you connect. Again, you see this thing reacts to it, but again, you can tell just like Trinity, it has a resistance to these types of damage. Go ahead and make your other attacks.
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do flurry of blows.
Awesome. Go for it. Make 2 more unarmed strikes.
Got it. I rolled. Let's see here. I rolled a 9.
9 does not hit, but you get another one.
Okay, cool. Oh, even worse. Got a 6. Okay, that's fine.
Oh no! So you lash out, Michael. You're stunned. You still don't really know what's going on. That's going to be it's Talisman. Demora, you are next to act.
I am going to fight one of the shadows coming at Hatch.
Awesome. So you can hit one of the ones. You can hit one of the ones that. I'm trying to see here.
Trinity.
You can attack one of the injured ones. Or if you can also try to get to the uninjured one, but one of them will get a free swing on you if you attempt to do that.
I will attack one of the injured ones.
Awesome. Make your first attack. Very cool.
20.
20 is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Is that dirty or natural on the 20?
Dirty.
Also, I want to ask, are you going to use a smite here or no?
Not yet.
Not yet. Cool. So this will be 2d6 plus 2. Awesome. Let's see what happens.
11.
11. Cool. You see that woof, you slash this one. This one is now on death's door. You can see with your like tiefling dark vision. By the way, you guys now see the only things that like humans can see in the room right now sort of are like 2 points of red light in Demora's eyes. You can see like a couple other little flashes here and there. Demora, you see that this one, there's the one that you guys just heard, that you've been both working on, is on death's door. It's just about to be defeated. However, at the end of Demora's turn, Barnaby, Hatch, Buford, Wren, Michael, you all come out of the surprised condition, but it's actually going to be the Shadow's turn first. So we're going to make some attacks for these guys now. Hold on 1 second. Ooh, this is scary. So I will ask now. Hold on 1 second. As we launch into this together,
why would you need such a number of dice? No, feel free to put some of those back in the bag. It's fine. Fine.
What is Barnaby's armor class, if you'd be so kind?
I'm sure it's like really, really high. 14.
14. Awesome. Cool. Okay. So, Barnaby, you are hit by 2 of the beings attacking you. You take, first you take 10 points of damage, and then you take 7 points of damage. How's Barnaby looking right now?
He is definitely taxed. He is under half hit points.
And it ain't over yet, because Barnaby also loses 6 points of strength. How much strength does Barnaby have left?
6.
You feel icy cold hands reach into your chest, and you hear the voice say, "Oh, Barnaby, you have done a lot of lazing around in hammocks and using my magic to get sweet treats and go to market. I am very displeased, Barnaby."
Are you talking to me? You come into my home?
What is yours is mine, Barnaby. And those are the ones that attack Barnaby. Some of them are going to go for Wren as well. What is Wren's armor class?
11.
11. Okay. Wren also gets hit twice. First for 10, and then for 6. How's Wren looking?
She's up, but
Uh,
not great.
Wren also loses 6 points of strength. How much strength does Wren have left?
6.
Okay, Barnaby and Ren are both not looking great right now. These three are, even though they've been hurt by Demore and everyone else, they're still going to go for Hatch. Only one hits Hatch. You have a 19 armor class, right?
I do.
You take 14 points of damage, and then you are going to lose some strength as well. Hatch loses 4 points of strength. And then the one still going for Michael. That's a hit on Michael. Ooh, these guys had a very good round. That's 12 points of damage to Michael. Michael, you lose 1 point of strength. How's Michael looking?
So, like, Michael has 13 strength now because he has 14 strength originally.
Gotcha. There is suddenly, like, Talisman, Demora, and Trinity all acted without you guys really knowing what's going on, and suddenly you know the chill presence of ghostly spectral creatures, like living shadows, has come to be suddenly in this room. Your 3 main spellcasters are very close, could easily die if this kind of turn happens again. There is very real danger present here. And part of you maybe wonders if coming to the Court of Midnight was advisable after all. Trinity.
Trinity's gonna say to Barnaby, "What did you do? Why are they attacking us?"
It ain't my fault. I swear. It's not my fault.
You should probably apologize.
I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm telling you.
With that, after Trinity asked that question, yeah, Trinity is over it with Barnaby getting him in this hot water. Trinity, it is your turn again.
I want to try and go for. Wait, who's most damaged from the ghost?
I have 8 HP left.
Michael is looking very hurt. Barnaby is looking very hurt. Yeah, Michael's not looking good right now.
Is there anyone who can try and heal Michael?
You could, but the issue now is because you are locked in battle with 2 of the shadows, if you were to run away and do something else, 2 of them would get attacks on you.
Okay, never mind.
So you're kind of in danger now. You've done something very heroic and run into battle, but now you're kind of in danger yourself. So you could run, try to heal somebody, but they would get attacks. So the way to keep them from getting attacks would be to stay in battle with them.
I would try and attack one of the shadows again.
Cool. Go ahead and roll. You have 2 attacks this round. Go ahead and roll 2 attacks.
Does 14 hit?
14 hits. And you can roll 1d6 plus 4.
That's 9.
Trinity, you lash out with your sword, and one of these shapes vanishes. You've defeated one of the shadows. And you have another attack if you want.
Okay.
Good swing, kid.
Ow.
16.
16 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
10.
Whoosh, the second one, Trinity takes out both of the injured shadows in one hit. Trinity, that's your turn. You can stay where you are or move because the 2 of them that would have hit you are now gone. So if you want to move somewhere else in the room, you can.
I'll move by to Hatch.
Great. You are right next to Hatch. Awesome. That is going to be Talisman.
I'm going to hit the one that's going for Michael again.
Go for it.
10.
10 does not hit. If you want to flurry again, you can, or you can just use your bonus action to do another unarmed strike.
These are dire times, so I'm gonna flurry again.
That's the right call.
Oh shoot, 10 again.
Oh, poor Talisman. Oh no.
We're gonna
Poor
do a
Michael,
dice,
we're all gonna
little
die.
dice shopping online, social
Some-
distance.
A little. I'm gonna use another dice. Let's see.
Throw it away.
Maybe.
Level up dice is coming through for all of us over here.
14. 14. How's that?
14 hits.
14. Great.
14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage for that. Maddie, you've cloned yourself. I see 2 little images on the screen right now. There we go. Great.
I had to leave because my thing was freezing.
Oh, no worries. We got you back. You're good. Talisman, how much damage you do on that?
I did an 8.
Awesome. You see, you lash out another one of the shadows. This one's now looking pretty injured, but is still up. Although these things don't really look injured, they just kind of like go more amorphous and lose more shadow material as the fight goes along. After Talisman, that's Demora. What's Demora going to do?
I am going to attack the one going for Michael the Frog as well.
Awesome. You rush forward. You get in front of that one. Go ahead and roll your attack.
19.
19 is a hit. You can go ahead and roll damage, or let me know if you want to smite.
I won't smite this time, and I got 14 damage.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Oh, yeah, you, Talisman, you take this thing, Demora runs over and with a flash of red light, banishes this shadow to the underworld.
Thank you.
Gone. That is now going to be, after Demora, that's Barnaby.
So how many are left, especially around me?
You got all 3 left on you.
Okay, so they're all within 5 feet?
Yes, they're all within 5 feet.
Listen, you merely adopted the shadows. I was born in them. So listen up. Here's a little something that I didn't learn from the Midnight Queen. And he pulls out like a little bitty book.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally, like on the front of it in Sylvan says Book of Shadows. And he's like thumbing through like super, super fast. And he's like, why don't you try this one on for size? I'm going to say a word right now. He said, that word is flash. And then you see just a word of radiance burst out, hits anything within 5 feet. Constitution save need to be to 15.
Ooh, man, oh man.
And it is radiant damage.
And these shadows are vulnerable to radiant damage. Okay, the DC on that is 15, you said?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let's see who makes it. Only one of them makes it. So go ahead and roll double damage for 2 of these beings.
Well, that is 11 damage for the 2 that failed.
Oh my goodness. 2 of these go from full health to almost death's door. You see, because again, Trinity and Talisman and Demora are doing tons of damage, but all of their damage is getting halved. So they're working overtime to fight these spectral creatures. Your word of radiance is pure magic, and you begin to see why these shadows were going for the spellcasters first. Whoosh! One of them ducks into the fireplace and scoots up the chimney. The other 2 can't make it in time and are shredded apart in this flash of light. For a moment, the room is illuminated in bright light, and you guys can see where all the shadows. Now, each of you know there are only 7 shadows left in the room. 3 of them are on Ren, 3 of them are still on Barnaby, 1 is still on Hatch.
Only 7.
Work smarter, not harder.
Incredible. Only 7. Hatch, that's you. You got 1 left on you. Ren has 3 at full health on her. Barnaby's, hurt some of his. But what is Hatch going to do?
Hey, get out of here. Turn undead.
And sorry, what is the range on Turn Undead again?
It's any I can see. And they need to do 30 feet. If I can, yeah. Within 30 feet.
It is a little hovel.
Yep. And they need a wisdom DC 13 or flee from me as fast as they possibly can.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Wisdom
Fingers crossed, y'all.
Wisdom DC 13. Let's see what happens. They get no bonus to a wisdom saving throw. And real quick right now, I just want to make sure Hatch has dark vision, right? Or
I
something.
don't actually. The turtles don't.
Okay, so is the word of turn undead that you have to be able to see? But you know what? Actually, I'm going to say that with
it is each
Word of radiance.
no. Well, each undead that can see or hear me. must fail or leave.
Ooh, this is D&D lawyer. Love it. I love it. Okay, these are the 3 full health that are on Ren. They need to roll a 13 or higher on the dice. 2 of them succeed. Hold on one second. That one is turned. And again, if the turned ones take damage,
Yeah, it must spend its turn trying to move as far away from me as it can. It can't willingly get within 30 feet of me. It also cannot react. It can only dash and try and escape if there's nowhere to move. Yep. Actually,
okay.
it does not say that if they're attacked, it breaks it. It's not a charm. Like, they just are terrified of me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about them. If they take damage, it stops. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The full health one on Barnaby, that's a nat 1. The 2 injured ones on Barnaby.
I got scared.
So only the healthy one in the one that's going up the chimney just is like, you know what? I'm gonna go all the way up the chimney. I'm done with this.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you or the queen split you.
And this is the one on Hatch. The one on Hatch is way too close. What is Hatch's turn? It's just that he says, "Hey, get out of here!"
Literally, like, get out of here.
This just very chill request sends these shadows packing. 3 of the 7 turn to flee in one go. Incredible. After Hatch, it is Buford, who is going to charge one of the injured ones next to Barnaby. Fails to hit. Then that's going to be Ren to Woods. Ren, you have 2 full health ones still on you.
Ren is going to cure wounds.
Cool. Go ahead and roll for cure wounds. Ooh, I think a little lag here, maybe, or no? Oh, gotcha. There you go.
Dramatic pause.
Dramatic. Great. How much is Ren healed for? Great. Are we back?
A moment.
I think we can hear you, Kelly.
We can hear you, but yeah. Let us know how much Ren is healed for.
I cast at 2nd level, so I'm healed for 13.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Wonderful. That any movement that turn or no?
No, I'll stay where I'm at.
Cool. Michael, that is you. And the one
help Ren.
Awesome. You can absolutely help Ren. How would you like to help Ren? Because there's no shadows are attacking you anymore.
Magic missile level. Oh, I can only do level 1.
You could do a 2nd level.
Magic missile.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and roll.
Oh yeah, then level 2.
Level 2. So you're going to go ahead and roll, I believe, 4d4 plus 4.
4. Okay. 14.
14. Awesome. And you're attacking one. You're attacking one of the ones attacking. Very, very cool. You throw out a magic missile. One of the full health ones attacking Shadow goes from fully dangerous to death's door right away with this blast of light and a big ribbit as Michael casts the spell. That is now going to be Lionel. Lionel, on a nat 1, goes to attack somebody, collapses and breaks Barnaby's coffee table.
You're paying for that, kid.
I don't have any money.
Do you have anything?
The armor was given to me by Ciceris and the sword as well.
Yeah.
Now the shadows go again. So, the ones that were turned all flee. 2 are going to take attacks on Ren. Only 1 hits. Ren, you lose 4 strength. What are you at now?
Down to 2, I think. Yeah, 2.
You feel the blood is running cold in your body as these shadows attack. You also take 5 points of damage from the shadow that hits you. Barnaby, you are hit only once, but you take 1 point of strength damage and another 6 hit points worth of damage. How's Barnaby looking?
He is. He's got 4 hit points left, and what'd you say? 1 strength, 5
1 strength.
Yeah.
Ooh, Barnaby and Ren are looking very dangerously hurt. This is probably your guys' last chance to save them, as scary as that sounds. We go back to the top. Trinity, that is your turn. Hatch is safe now, and so is Michael, but Ren and Barnaby each have 2 shadows still attacking them.
I'm okay. I'm okay. And he's like kind of just falling down over himself.
You should apologize.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
What's Trinity gonna do? Ooh, I think you're muted, Kaylin. No worries.
Am I unmuted yet?
Yeah, you're good. There you go.
Trinity's gonna try and go help Ren and try and attack one of the monsters after her.
Awesome. One of the monsters attacking Ren is very injured, and the other one's not injured at all. Which one do you want to go for?
The not injured one.
You leap across the room through the shadows. Go ahead and make 2 attack rolls.
I rolled a 1.
Oh no! You leap, go for it. The shadow moves out of the way. You get 1 other attack. Go for it.
17.
17 hits. So the shadow moves out of the way of the first one. And your second one hits. Roll 1d6 and add 4.
That's 10 points of damage.
Ooh, yes, you hurt this one bad as your sword flashes across it. That is Trinity's turn. Talisman, you are next to go.
I'm gonna try to help out Barnaby. I am close enough to attack his people, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to hit one of them with my sword.
Go for it.
Oh, yes. Okay, nat 20, 24.
Ooh, roll double damage.
Yes, okay, awesome. We might win this. Awesome.
Don't speak so soon, kid.
Don't jinx it. Who's up next so we can get our dice rolls ready?
Yeah. Awesome.
12 on the die.
With your first attack, you destroy one of the shadows attacking Barnaby.
Okay. And it's my last one, but I'm gonna use Flurry of Blows again. Hopefully it won't mess up on me to take out the other one.
Awesome. Go for it. Roll 2 attacks.
Nat 20 again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, okay. I'm guessing that hits, right?
Yeah. That absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll double damage.
Um, 11 damage.
In a flurry of blows, you destroy both of these shadows.
My hero.
Barnaby is saved. You have what is Talisman's movement, by the way?
It's let me see.
50.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's 50, I think.
Your speed is 50. You have enough movement to defeat both of these and cross the room to the other shadows with your last flurry of blows if you want.
Really? Okay.
This is the benefit of fighting in a 20 by 20 hobby.
Sure. Yeah. I'll try that.
Cool. One of them is badly injured. The other one is not that injured.
Okay. I'm gonna go for the one that is badly injured.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
This one might not hit.
No worries.
That would be an 11.
11 does not hit. So you boom, boom, destroy two shadows, leap across the room to join Trinity. Demora, that is your turn.
Muted.
I am going to attack, but quick question: which shadows are left still?
Just two attacking Ren.
Okay, so I will attack one of them. Are any of them injured yet?
Both of them are injured. One of them looks healthier and is going for Trinity. The other one looks more injured and is going for Ren.
I'll get the injured one going for Trinity, and I will attack.
Awesome. Go ahead and attack.
20.
20 hits. And that's not a nat 20, right?
No.
Cool. Awesome. Go ahead and roll damage.
8.
8 damage. Now this one is looking really, really hurt as you slash through it with your sword. Barnaby, that's you.
All right, I'm going to just run up. I'm hoping they're within 5 feet of each other. The two that are still left.
They are, but now that area is actually too crowded for you to get in there and get them both.
There's no way that I can try to acrobatically get through to another side or anything?
You can definitely, if you're trying to do Word of Radiance again, you can definitely get one of them. You just can't get both of them.
All right, yeah. So I have the book still open. I said, I don't know if you heard me, but flash, and then I'm just gonna burst it out again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Constitution 15.
That is a failure. Roll 2d6.
Okay. That is 10 points of damage.
Barnaby just explodes one of these shadows. There is only one shadow left. Incredible. Hatch, that's you.
The one that is left, is it injured or not injured?
It is injured. Demora and Trinity have both attacked it.
I am going to toll the dead then. It needs to beat a Wisdom 13 save.
It does not beat a Wisdom 13 save. What type of damage is Toll the Dead?
Toll the Dead is, I think it's necrotic. It's a necromancy spell. It doesn't actually say. Oh yeah, necrotic.
Awesome.
For 11 points.
You reach out to Toll the Dead and call the doom of this creature. You feel you've been protected by your shell your whole life. An icy hand reaches into your heart, and as you cast Toll the Dead, says, "You do not have the authority to call the time and place of these beings' death in my court, mystic." These beings are immune to necrotic damage, and the Queen of Midnight wraps spectrally from miles away her hand around your heart. That is Hatch's turn. I'm going to say that you no longer have disadvantage on perception. You are brought back to the present moment.
That's the blue lights, which some of us know, but you're like, oh, I'm back. I'm good. Right.
Incredible. Ren, that's going to be you.
I will. There's just the one left on me, right?
Just the one left on you.
Just guiding bolt.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll your attack.
What did you do, man?
I just don't know.
Just apologize.
All right.
What did Ren roll?
12 to hit.
12 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. And what kind of damage is this?
I want to say radiant, but I will double check.
It is radiant.
It is
Awesome. Roll double damage for this.
Oh boy. Okay. I just saw what I roll. 13.
Ren, you rolled 13.
Mm-hmm.
Ren unrolls her star map, and for a moment, this dark hovel becomes like a planetarium. You hear like celestial music, stars cover everything, and the darkness fades away to starry night. And all of this last remaining shadow is filled with starlight and deconstructed into constellations as it blasts away into the nighttime sky. You are victorious.
I have something to say. Listen, I know you can hear me. I'm gonna say I'm sorry. I might have done a little bit better with what you kind of laid out for me. But we really need to talk to you. If you can just kind of cool off for just a little bit, we're gonna come under a banner of truce.
You hear a voice fill Barnaby's hovel, and you see that the voice says, "Many champions there are here who have defeated my darling creatures of shadow. Do you champions feel that Barnaby has truthfully apologized to me?"
Trinity says,
I mean, I said the words. I mean, isn't it enough?
You see that for a moment, Trinity, you feel the kind of like shadows wrap around you for a minute, and you feel something take your hand, and suddenly a regal woman made of midnight with a crown on her head appears briefly for a moment in like spectral illusion and smiles. And even though she just tried to kill all of you, Trinity, she's just so powerfully magical, and she's smiling at you and says, "This one is honest, and her honesty has bought you a key to my council." She produces a jet black magic key, hands it to Trinity, and says, "Barnaby, saying that you are going to apologize is not an apology. You have some manners to learn from your dear friends here. I will be waiting in my castle, and I suggest you come because I don't think you're going to have much of a home anymore." The wind picks up outside, and the tree over Barnaby's hovel is ripped away in a hurricane force, and you're all just covered in dirt and stones for a moment. Barnaby's home is unmade. The Queen of Midnight is gone. And
Sorry, not sorry.
And Trinity is holding a jet black key. And with that, that's all for today on Roll in the Family presents the Slumbering Forest.
Yay!
Awesome job, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for another installment of the Slumbering Forest. Thank you. Please go and support Direct Relief and all of our charity or efforts here to support relief for first responders and healthcare workers battling coronavirus. Thank you all so much. And stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next week. Woo!